gather round the warehouse, y'all, it's time to load the truck. Doc's Dynasty hour is rolling in, Tim Karanak's got the luck. Doc Eisenhower's riding shot.
Welcome to Doc's Dynasty Hour. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on the X at Fantasy Aceball. And we got the Doc in the hotel room. That's a weird hotel room. It looks like you're in like a kid's bedroom from an early 90s movie.
It looks like I'm in a grandma's house from she was raised in the 1950s.
Okay, I was just thinking of like the movies where the kids have the dolls or whatever. Like you have like a quilt on your bed. You've got a lot of like old farmhouse style pictures around. What kind of hotel is that, Doc?
This is the Graduate Hilton Hotel in Knoxville, Tennessee. And look, they give you cards of like famous people who are from here or near here. Yeah, little Morgan Wallen. This is my hotel card.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. And they got another one over here. Some black guy. I don't know who he is. But they got Reggie White, who I do know. Reginald White, also black. So not completely racist. Let me go see what black.
Wait a little.
Yeah.
Though it is Kentucky.
At the end of the day, I guess Morgan Wallen's just some white guy. See, no one gets mad about that. You can say all you want. Yeah, how am I supposed to know who this is? Maybe by his face? Condridge Holloway.
No idea. Do they get what kind of name is Condridge?
Just may the people judge me on that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Condridge. Do they give you apple pie? It looks like they should give you apple pie at that hotel.
So it's to celebrate like the Rocky Top. It's like all like nostalgic college era of I guess the 50s or something like that. But yeah, it's all about the school here, the University of Tennessee. I guess I don't know anything about this area. Passing through.
Something. Yeah. All right. So Doc in the hotel, USA shirt. He's rocking and rolling. And I have to pee. Doc challenged me that we have to get this podcast done in 40 minutes so that I can pee. Because I was like, I have to pee before we start. And he's like, no, just start the podcast. You're gonna have to roll through this without peeing. I am not going to do the thing where we stop and pee. So anyway, moves that we made this week. Doc didn't write any down. But I made 4 trades this week, Doc, already. So I traded in our 30-team MLB Data Warehouse League. I'm making some moves trying to win this year. I traded Christian Curtis and Carson Milbrandt for a $4 Seth Lugo to John. What do you think about that trade?
I think that I wasn't listening to a word you said, but I can read it, so it helps. So the Pedro Ramirez –
First one. Seth Lugo for Christian Curtis and Carson Milbrandt.
No, man. I don't even know how Lugo. Has Lugo been good again?
Yeah, he's been too good. He's definitely going to regress.
It's so funny how people
outperforming for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like you couldn't trade Lugo for anything. Like people were like, yeah, he's out, he's done. There's some players that people are just. There's like some players where like the second like they show you a little bit of hope again. I always loved you, Ethan Salas. I always loved you, Jordan Alvarez. There's just certain people, Chase DeLauder. There's just people who they want them to be good so bad, but everyone really wants Lugo to be not good.
He has a 2.68 ERA and a 1.21 WHIP. And when John was telling me that he's for sale, I was like, "You're not going to sell me on the 2 ERA. I know that's not who he is." And he's like, "Okay, that's fine." So I think it's a fair deal. Anyway, same league. I traded for a $14 Mike Trout. I traded $14, which is $14 million Jason Dominguez. So basically the same price or whatever. Daniel Egan and Eric Batanti for Mike Trout, who was balling out this year. That trade.
Well, at first I wanted to say that like it wasn't someone complaining about you getting Lugo for such a low cost in our league.
Think so. Did someone complain? If they did, I completely just read right over it in the Discord.
No. He said there was a whole uproar. Like this is collusion.
I didn't even see that. I completely didn't even read right over that.
You just tell because they're probably like maybe they're a John fan where all they do is redraft, so no one even knows who Milbrandt is. But I think it's a fine trade, good trade. The next deal, man, Egan's been so bad, it's been heartbreaking. This is like the most tragic thing that happened to him since. I'm not even gonna go there, but. I almost went
to zoom on your face there. I was close to a zoom in.
If I had more whiskey, I would have gone there. We'll save it for for next time. Yeah, this is a good trade. I mean, again, Mike Trout's another one. People forget that there was incredible risk and seeming like it was all over. I hope it's not over. This is a good run, good for baseball. But yeah, I mean, Jason Dominguez. Remember how he was a can't miss dude not too long ago? I mean, I was never like a Jason Dominguez guy, but now I'm really trying to can I buy in at the right price? Like he's still going to be young and he'll still have upside for the next few years. They're not going to give up on him completely, and the price will just keep getting cheaper.
Yeah, that's what I felt. In the Scott White Dynasty League, I added JJ Bleday, and they hit like a bunch of homers, so that's awesome. Another trade, I traded Pedro Ramirez, who I picked up, and I traded him to a Cubs fan, and I'm a Cardinals fan. I traded him in a 5th rounder for Joshua Baez in a 16th rounder.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. So I think Joshua Baez is going to be a superstar.
Yeah,
I thought it's going to look really bad. That's you froze it. You froze again, and we know in the past that when Tim freezes, it's actually his fault and not my fault. So what were you saying to that, Tim?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I thought so too. Kind of taking advantage of the Cubs fan in the league a little bit, maybe. But Pedro Ramirez has been really good. And then Jack Flaherty, a guy that I do not like anymore, do not want. I traded him for a 7th rounder. I didn't even want a player back.
What kind of what context? Like what? How many teams are in the league?
7th round is okay. You can get
how many teams are in the league?
20 teamer. Okay. And you're only keeping like 7 guys, so it's more like a keeper league than a dynasty league. But a 7th rounder usually, yeah, 7th rounder usually you're getting like your 6th starter, 5th starter, or you're getting like a reliever at that point most of the time. But that's how down I am on Jack Flaherty. That I just traded him for a draft pick with no player back.
Yeah, well, I think he sold too low. Actually, you should start liking Jack Flaherty more.
He was bad again today, I think. All right, Doc, what did you do this week?
I don't know, man. I've been too busy. Should I bet on Liam Hicks in our Ottoneu league? Are you bidding on him?
You did?
I'm asking if I should. You know.
Oh, sure. Do you need a catcher?
Isn't he? He's doing really well. He looks good.
He is.
I'll put him on my list, but I haven't had time to dig in to think I can't tell if it's real or not, but he's doing great. I know because he's playing against me in a 12-teamer. It's like, and just like, all right. I picked up Tommy Troy in this league, and so I could have put him on this list pretty easily. Actually, maybe I will. I'll think about that. But Tommy Troy, I only have a little bit of time to put that in there. Tommy Troy, we'll just talk about him now, I guess. Like he's been doing, as far as last time I checked, but doing pretty solid. And like when he was drafted, I remember thinking this guy looks like a really boring, like 15 home runs, but 20 to 25. Like how is that boring? If 15 home runs when that's kind of your ceiling, maybe I guess that's what makes him boring. But 20 to 25 stolen bases might be in play, and maybe he's like a 260, 270 average, 330, 340 OBP, and let's see how he's actually doing here. It kind of looks like it so far to me. 2 home runs, 5 stolen bases in the minors. Nice. 310, 396 batting average OBP. Striking out a little bit, 26%, but walking just fine. Where's his let's see his contact rates. And they're fine. He's just gonna be fine. Doing good, but not great. He's gonna be a fine, and his position eligibility might be what makes him really kind of useful. He's only 5'9", 197, not a big guy. But yeah, I think they got him playing with second base, outfield, all over. Yeah, so he could get if he qualifies at second base and outfield, that makes him so nice and versatile. But I mean, ideally you're gonna have him as your second baseman, but if you have a good second baseman, you can flex him. There's certain leagues out there where you have 4 or 5 outfielders, or maybe you do want to flex him based on an injury. Maybe you're blessed and you have someone really good. Maybe Caleb Durbin still qualifies at second base in your league. You have that absolute stud who's never been bad, and so you can start both of them.
You're gonna like my comp that I have
on him.
Here
for you. I don't know if you should be picked up on
that. My comp for him he was my number 115 prospect in my last ranking is Matt McClain Light mashed with Michael Garcia, one of your favorite players.
Probably why I like him. Yep. I think Michael's way better, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why he's combined with Matt McClain, who's a much worse player.
Yeah, actually, that does somehow make sense.
All right. So now we're gonna get to Doc's Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
No, what?
What
No
was
yeehaw. Just because
what's
you're in the
that?
hotel, dude. You're in the southeast. Yeehaws are like natural in Tennessee.
They are. They are. Yeah, give me one more time. Take two.
Okay. Doc's
But hey,
Magnificent Seven.
wait, we have to do take three because everyone. I'm not sure if I explained this earlier, everyone, but I haven't. I don't smoke weed. I haven't smoked weed in a while, and I haven't smoked weed tonight. So that's not where we're going with this. But back in high school, I inhaled, and there was bong tokes that I would inhale sometimes. It burns your throat. And that's the only way I can explain how I feel now because I had a hot honey chicken sandwich, and I had a beer as well. And I guess I kind of like puked up a little bit. Now I'm 35, so it like the acid incinerated all of my lungs and into like my lymph, like my whole brain was melting. I didn't know what to, I'm still not feeling good, so I'm not going to yell. So this is not going to be a good yeehaw. Let's do it. Take three.
All right. Doc's Magnificent Seven.
Yeehaw.
All right. That was like who's that cowboy guy who plays a cowboy in every movie? Elliot? What's his name? Sam Elliott or something?
Yeah, that's the coolest thing I'll ever be called is Sam Elliott. He's got a much more richer and like manlier voice than me, but we'll take it for now.
I think that was like a Sam Elliott yeehaw because he's always calm and like
correct,
just chill. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah. All right. Who you got? Number one, Max Clark. Why Max Clark?
Why do I like? Yeah, I mean, most people might know him by his alias of Chain Man. That was. But Chain Man, was off to he wasn't really getting a lot of rave reviews, so now he's just going by Max Clark again. I mean, I just think that he is. It looks like so. I wrote about him on Sunday in my Sunday smoke, but he's still doing basically really well. Kind of getting into Kevin McGonigal territory. Funny enough, it was like the same age, I think, but it's 87 contact, 94 zone contact. Like that's like really really good hitting at AAA level. The homers aren't there yet, but I could have sworn he was hitting a ton of doubles here. He's already got 9 doubles. Yeah, he's got 9 doubles in 29 games after hitting 17 in 111 games last year. So while he only has one home run, like this is probably still going to be an issue in Comerica, especially early on while he's a young lad. Like he's not going to bust out probably to the tune of 20 home runs right away. But then again, look at Kevin McGonigal. He's not really doing it either. But you're going to probably get like a really good hitter. Like he's not going to go – he won't be worse than like a 250, 320, 250 BA, 320 OBP kind of guy in his rookie season. He'll be better than that. Which for a rookie, that's actually good. It's really good at baseball. And then, well, how's he going to give you fantasy value? Well, he'll be in a probably good Detroit lineup, cashing in runs, and he is stealing bases right now. He's got 9 stolen bases already. So, yeah, you're probably looking at a 20 to 30 stolen base at least kind of floor, right? Great ratios. Yeah. Like, again, McGonigal's not going to steal that many bases. So it's interesting. It'll be really interesting to see who's more overall valuable for fantasy. I think Kevin McGonigal is the safer real life guy, but you add in Max Clark. Max Clark can play better defense than he did in spring training with those wheels out there in center field. There's actually a path here for Max Clark to be more valuable in real life and in fantasy baseball than Kevin McGonigal, which is not a slight to McGonigal. I think it's just something where the leapfrog happens so fast, people kind of lost perspective here on just how good Max Clark might be. And of course, it was really easy to make fun of him this offseason. So that kind of cratered his stock just a little bit. But don't forget about him. He's probably motivated. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder after all that. Just put your head down, get the job done.
Yeah, this is something interesting to look at is that his attempt rate is 25% now. Last year, it was like 7%. And that's one thing with John. When his F speed was so far down, I was like, why? Max Clark is slow. And he's like, it's because he doesn't run when he's on the bases. And then now he is. So now he's actually taking advantage of his speed. I think because he's leading off maybe last year. I can't remember. I'd have to like look back to see if he was leading off last year, but he's been leading off a lot this year, which obviously means more opportunity to run. But man, 86.5% contact and 92.2% zone for a guy who could run and has good EVs, like 104 90th is average for major leagues. 111 max is a little above average. I think that he's at least like a 55 in power. But if you've got a 55 power, like a 70 speed, and then like a 65, 70 hit, like his hit is better than plus. Like it's at least above that. It's like almost double plus hit with those contact rates. Not to mention good plate skills too. So Max Clark is definitely a dude. And maybe you don't notice if you just look at the back of the baseball card stats and you see, one home run, meh. Like you actually have to dig down into the stats to see how good he's actually performing this year. So number 2 here, you have where did it go? Number 2, you got Eli Willits, who hit a home run today.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that would probably be his 4th now. I could have sworn he had 3 already.
Yep.
I was there for one of them. He went Oppo on Mexican or Latino night. My church who's like we have like actually there is like a Spanish speaking part of the church. It's a pretty big church, but but by and large white bread, Faith Baptist or no, that's my old church, Heritage Baptist Church, and they didn't even realize it when they booked out the section to bring us all to the baseball game when it was Latino nights. Like everything's in Spanish. Everyone's like, "What are they saying?" and I looked around, and this is Fredericksburg, Virginia, which there are like I've seen like quite a bit of Hispanics in the area, but like no one went to the game. It was like all white people. I'm like, does anyone here know what's going on? I think this was kind
Me llamo Doc. Me gusta cerveza.
There were some funny things. I forget. There were funny things that were going on. But Eli Willits, he did well that night. He's stealing 21 bases so far. That's the interesting thing. Getting caught stealing a bit too many times.
60% attempt rate is hilarious. He runs more than half the time he's on base.
So this is like when you're playing like creative player. No, you're playing creative player on MLB The Show. And it's just too easy. You're like, why aren't they promoting me? Come on. Well, I'm just going to steal a million bases, but I'm just going to screw around, see how I do. And also that maybe they're telling him, like, let's just see how many you can steal. Like, do you want to steal? Yeah. Okay. Let's make use of it. I got a 420 OBP. That's just about 280 average. Contact rates are actually just kind of mid, but it's one of those situations where it doesn't matter because he's just matching the ball, taking a 20% walk rate too. Like he needs more of a challenge before he develops actually negative habits, right? So Eli Willits right now, he's fresh too, like not an old 18. He's going to be 18 this entire year until December. So he's going to be up. He needs to be up in high ace. It's sad because I got one more ticket to the Fred Nat so far this year. I've been to 2 already. Got one more in June, late June. So it's Toy Story night for those keeping track. And here's what I'll say. I think by the end of June, Eli shouldn't be there anymore, unfortunately for me. But yeah, he needs to move on up. And yeah, go ahead and buy now. Like this could be like a Bobby Witt kind of profile. That is not being treated like that just yet. He's definitely going to be hard to trade for, especially how he's done, but it's only going to get crazier, I think.
Yeah, when I saw him at the spring breakout game, he was against Liam Doyle, Tanner Franklin, Yoiker Fajardo, like really good pitchers, and he looked too good for them. So, and those guys are in like Doyle's in Double-A now. So it just tells you Eli Willits could probably be perfectly fine in Double-A as a 18 or 19 or whatever year old he is right now, 18-year-old. So, Eli Willits, big-time buy if you can get him. Number 3, Mitch Bratt.
Yeah, I didn't really do this in any order, I guess. We're going through a few pitchers coming up. So I really wanted Cole Drake and Daniel Egan to be the breakout Diamondback pitchers this year. And I think they're combined, like their ERA, I think both of them are over 8 ERA at this point. It's like really bad. I get it's PCL, but Cole Drake's on the older side, and gosh, was really hoping Daniel Egan would take that step forward. But Mitch Bratt, out of these 3 guys, there's some other talent they got there too. But out of those 3 guys, Mitch Bratt was kind of like, I know you were big on Mitch Bratt. I think you said you liked it better than all of them. So I'll give you credit for that if that was true, Tim. Because I just viewed him as a little bit more boring, a bit more safe. And I still think that is the case. I don't think he's going to be your flame-throwing ace. He's not really built like that, but he's a lefty. And this year his command's been down a little bit, throwing some more walks, but whatever. He's in the same PCL as the other guys, and he's got a 2.63 ERA. So I think the FIP is a little bit I saw somewhere that the FIP was like not totally backing this up. It doesn't matter. Getting the job done in a very tough league when the other guys are getting obliterated. So he's probably, I would assume, climbing the ladder over them. He's already on the 40-man roster. You're going to probably see him called up sooner than later to Arizona. So we'll see what happens for the Canadiens. I'm still recovering from this damage I took from this sandwich, man. That's like I am traumatized. I think I have permanent damage. So Mitch Bratt, I actually, even in one league in the Prospects Live Startup Dynasty, I was totally like decimated. More my morale was down. It's like 30 teams, right, or whatever, 20 something teams I had, and it was deep in it. I was like, okay, finally, I've waited long enough. It's time to go get Cole Drake, and I got sniped right before, and I was like, no, dang it. I got to pick the other guy, Mitch Bratt. I'm like, oh, this is working out. Sometimes you just got to be lucky, right?
Yeah. So Bratt, I had as my 104 pitcher or 104 player in my last rankings update. And he doesn't have velocity. You can see if you're watching on Xvision or YouTube or whatever, his fastball, that he's only averaging 90.8 on the fastball velocity this year. He can top out at like 95. And last year he was more around like 92. So he can get a little more heat on that fastball. And you can see if you're looking that his big swing and miss pitch is his changeup, which the changeup I give a 45 out of 50 on. The cutter and the fastball are good pitches. And for whatever reason, we don't even see his cutter on here. Maybe they're combining the fastball and the cutter into one pitch here because he has a 57% fastball use on John's things. So, which I guess they're taking the stadium data. The stadium must be combining the fastball and the cutter, I would say, based on that. But I think I froze.
No, I don't know, man. You didn't freeze. I was just being still and stoic.
Oh,
I'm like Sam Elliott.
I was looking at you and I was like, what's going on? Okay, yeah. So I think they're combining the fastball and the cutter here on this stat.
It was like this room. I was frozen in time.
Yeah, exactly. 1950s.
I wanted to cut you. It's funnier when I say stupid stuff like that when I cut off someone saying really useful information that our readers and listeners want to hear.
Dude, I told a joke about Emilio Pagan getting hurt, and nobody liked it on Twitter today. I was like, good thing my parents told me not to roster any pagans on my fantasy team, and then nothing.
That's
like
funny.
no likes, nothing, just crickets. But anyway, we see here 3.2% barrel rate. That's really good. That means guys just can't square his stuff up. It's kind of like a Parker Messick profile. He's a lefty like Messick too, 6'1", like Messick. So maybe he outperforms in the majors when he gets there, just kind of like Parker Messick, because he's got a very weird arm angle. Like this is what I said in his write-up. I said he has a lanky 3/4 like Trebuchet delivery. You like that?
Trebuchet.
Yeah, I used Trebuchet in my write-up for him.
I have a pen name. I should have a pen name and call myself Trey Boucher.
Like Bobby Boucher's brother or something.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, Mitch Bratt, I like him. Let's get to number 4 because we're definitely not going to make our 40-minute thing if we don't speed it up. Thomas White.
All right. Well, luckily this is a boring one. Everyone knows about him, but he did get hurt for a little while, had an oblique issue, and came back. And last time I checked, it looks like he had like a bad enough start to get him all the way up to 3 ERA. Okay. Drop him, cut. Oh, no, that's at low end. No, he's still good. No, his it must have been a rehab start. But yeah, he's got a 2.13 ERA at AAA this year. It's 0.8 WHIP. He's just striking everyone out. He's actually got better command than Snelling last I checked. We might as well combine these two. I got Robbie Snelling next. Let's just check to see if there's any extra starts since I wrote my article. But both these guys are going to be studs most likely. Yeah. Okay, Robbie's down to a 1.86 ERA. Crazy. But yeah, so Robbie Snelling actually this year has almost 5 walks per 9. Versus White in a smaller sample size has like half that, so it'll be interesting to see. Like, and of course, worth noting that Snelling's strikeouts are up too. So like, that's what's happening. Probably he's like, all right, how about I be a frontline ace? Y'all think I'm boring? How would it be more like my homie Tommy White? So they're both just trying. There probably is like a little bit of a friendly like competitiveness, right? These guys both now are showing signs that they could be frontline starters. Well, who's going to be the ace? Also got Yuri Perez up there. He's trying to figure it out. But like, geez, Marlins, man, if these guys can stay healthy, look out, right? So yeah, both
The
these guys
Stallions are back.
Yeah.
Remember the CBS they used to say the Stallions back when they had all those guys. I think that's the return of the Stallions for the Marlins. So yeah, I like both these guys. Both of them are obviously Thomas White was like my number 15 player, probably top 10 now. Now that all these guys graduated,
It's still
Snelling
like
I had as like a top 25 guy.
it's almost your last time to buy before things get out of control. I think like if they come up and start just crushing major league level, like watch out.
Yeah, agreed. Number 6, Esmeralda Valdez.
I totally ran you over. Did you had something to say about Snelling? Say something about Snelling. I feel bad.
I was the guy who liked Robbie Snelling more than Andrew Painter. And I was also the guy who was never down on him. I kept Snelling as like a top 50 prospect, even when he was struggling with the Padres. And even Blessing came on my podcast and gave me crap. He's like, "You still like Robbie Snelling?" I was like, "Yeah." and then now look at it. So yeah, that's why you stick with your guys even through the struggle sometimes. So that's why like people will give you crap, Doc, on this guy or that guy. But then if you stick with your guy through and through, look what happens when you come out the other side. Generally, if you stick with your dudes through the struggles, you'll turn out on top. Look at it. Look at everyone who's stuck with Ethan Salas now. Like I actually took Salas out of my top 100 and 150, but the guys who actually stuck with him, those are the guys who can say, "See, I stuck with my boy, and I deserve props for that."
You know, kudos for the Snelling thing because he was down real bad for a moment there. And I think I might be the only guy who kept Salas in like their top 200. So there's that. But we'll get to him later. A little bit of flag planting. Esmeralda Valdez. Oh, hey, by the way, I was also thinking you said Painter. I just want to check his Savant to see how he's actually looks like he's going to be okay. So that might be another great example with your 5.28 ERA, 1.59 WHIP. Doesn't look great, but 92nd percentile chase percentage. You know, the velo's there.
Command is there.
Good. Yeah, it's like there's a player here, so probably go out there and buy him. By the way, I guess. I'll shout out. Guess I'll put him up here next week properly. Esmeralda Valdez. I kind of keep track on who I've randomly tweeted about. I don't really tweet anymore. I've just been too busy lately. But who I've randomly tweeted about, who I've written about, and who I've talked about. Well, Valdez, I'm just going to give him a shout out again because he's got like a 400 OBP. His average is okay. He's only quote unquote got 5 home runs, but I'm pretty sure he's smacking doubles. He got 8 doubles so far. So he's big power. I don't think anyone doubts the power, though. I think we should have some. Yeah, we have his StatCast here. He's able to rip like a 114 max EV.
Mm-hmm.
He's a stud. His effortless kind of power.
109 90th is insane, dude. 109 90th is just crazy.
Yeah, it's like so. He's again. This is like you're still in a buying window because people don't really know him. He's still not fully being appreciated. Like he's confidently a top 25 prospect for me. 6'2", 232, 6'2", 234. He's only 22 years old. Not like he's like some older guy beating up or anything like that. Like he's actually young for like I think 22 is technically a little young for AA even.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, he's doing it right here on the precipice. It's just going to be exciting, and he could be up there hitting right behind Mr. Griffin one day. So anyone who has the potential to be doing that is someone you should probably have more interest in.
Yeah, 152 age-adjusted WRC plus there. For a 22-year-old at Trips right now. Number 7 is Bryce Eldridge getting the call. And did you see his quote? I love this quote. Did you see that?
I don't see the quote. I've been busy.
Okay, so he was up or something like that, and I can't remember exactly what they said, but they said something like, "Oh, you're gonna be nervous or whatever," and he's like, "No, I'm just gonna keep it sexy" or something, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was verbatim right now, but it made me laugh when I saw it.
Okay, now I gotta figure out what the quote was.
Yeah, you'll find it. Just put Bryce Eldridge sexy. And
yeah, it says here. Yeah, AI knows, dude. I'm feeling sexy at the plate right now. He's like. Have you seen what this guy looks like?
Yeah, he's huge.
But it's like his face too, just like his beard, just like looks like he's like 40. Like he kind of looked like this as a kid being drafted at 18. And I heard him talking. I don't know, for some reason I just figured he'd be a bit more quiet and mild mannered. But yeah, he'll say stuff like that, and then I remember when they asked him on MLB. I don't really listen to the MLB podcast, but I did at one point. I had a stretch. I guess I was doing road trips, and they asked him, "Hey, so you and the team must have agreed to have you stop pitching, right? What was that conversation like?" He says, "Oh, I don't know if I would say there was a conversation. Definitely something I wanted to do. I wanted to keep pitching." Like, he just called it out. He's like, so he more or less said, "I didn't really appreciate that, but for me, it's not about like." And then he's like, "It's not about me just like doing well at this minor league level, the low minors. Like, honestly, nothing here matters other than making the big leagues. That's the only thing I care about." So like, he was just like pretty high level of competence. That's like an 18-year-old saying this stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, all right, dude. Yeah, there'll be some rough moments. There'll be people like, he'll have some Jack Cags moments for sure. And of course, Jack Caglione is like still figuring it out himself. But the power is just so vicious that he's just gonna find out that he's gonna make pitchers so scared of him that he's gonna generate walks that way. It's not gonna be from having an amazing contact rate. And this is a guy where you don't want 60, you don't have that, but he could afford to be between 65 and 70% contact rate and just be a freakish bat. He also, I haven't seen what he looks like physically lately, but I know in the past I've always thought he could put some more meat on that frame too, which is kind of a scary thing.
Yeah, he looks like a coach. Like, you're right. He looks like he could be like Tony Vitello's like little brother, just like coaching alongside him or whatever.
What happens when this big guy with crazy power, is he still 20?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 21. Yeah. What happens if and when, like, he's going to be a growing boy, he'll probably put some weight on him. What happens when he becomes like 270? He's going to be like an absolute beast. If he's already 6'7", 240 and like lean, like, this guy could be 260 one day easily and just mashing even more bombs. I don't know.
Yeah. No lefty in that park has been able to hit bombs since Barry. So, but if someone can do it, it's going to be a 6'7" guy who could just be like an athletic freak. But to your point about Esmeralin, Bryce Eldridge is more or less a top 25 prospect unanimously across the industry. But Esmeralin has a better contact rate than Eldridge and better exit velocities than Eldridge. So Eldridge is just a bigger dude. But and Eldridge is going to be a worse park too. So just keep that in mind. Esmeralin, a little bit underrated. All right, all hat, no cattle. Who's your biggest phony of the week, Doc?
We're going too long, so this is a cheap out almost. But it's not, because people forget. But Shane McClanahan, it's easy to say, yeah, he gets hurt all the time. It's just, again, it's a cheap one. I don't want these guys to be hurt. I don't want to root for it. But people were not believing in him due to durability. They're wondering, can this guy ever give us 150 innings again? I mean, I guess we'll see. I'd recommend every single game and gem that he churns out, he's starting to put some gems together. It bumps up his trade value, and go ahead and sell him. Sell high when you can, because I don't know, man. I guess every pitcher is going to get hurt these days, but why increase your risk? Why go for the guys who are already like proven to be injury prone? Get the ones who are going to surprise you and hurt you that way.
Yeah, makes sense. Shane McClanahan as the phony of the week with a almost 11% walk rate and a Sierra that is a whole run higher than the ERA. 260 BABIP against, so he's had some luck on his side for Shane McClanahan. Still got the name value, I think. Huckleberry of the week. My Huckleberry of the week is Ivan Herrera. So Cardinals' number 2 hitter is not getting the same props as like a J.J. Weatherholt or a Jordan Walker when he probably should be. So Ivan Herrera is, since you talked about weed earlier, we'll use 420. How about that as a benchmark here? So since 420, Ivan Herrera is hitting 320, 460, 540 for a 1,000 OPS on that slash line. And during that time, an 84% zone contact, not chasing it all, 91 average EV, 112.3 max EV. This guy smashes the ball. There's so much power in this bat, and it's still cold in St. Louis. Once it warms up some, we saw it last summer. He's going to get into more power. And Doc, as you know, he has 13 games caught already. So he's more or less locked down catcher eligibility for next year now. I mean, there's some leagues where you need 20, but he's 100% going to get that unless like he gets hurt or something like that, knock on wood. But Ivan Herrera is super underrated in not getting the props he deserves, because any catcher that can hit like 320 with 112 max, like this guy's sick and he doesn't get the credit.
Yeah, it's weird because I think last year there was some times where people were crowning him as like one of the greatest hitters of our day, and I'm like, I also think he's going to be really good, but why are you pricing him in already? Like, we don't even know if he's going to be, if he can keep this up, or if he'll be durable, or if he's going to be a catcher, and he proved to actually not be durable, and probably actually won't be a catcher. Like, but he now is like looking really steady and consistent, and he is staying healthy at least. And like it's interesting because you look at his page and like he doesn't seem to be hitting the sweet spot at all. Like, what happens if he can find a nice launch angle, right? What if he can work on that? Because even without it, he's looking like a really solid hitter. It doesn't look like his catching metrics look pretty bad. So if Jimmy Crooks can maybe figure it out and hit enough to stay up, that'd be probably better for the team. I can't imagine that he's secretly a good hitter. Good catcher, Mr. Herrera, and the metrics just are completely lying to our faces. But I would say it's odd. Like, it's like people almost love the idea. They want to call the breakout, then the breakout happens, and sometimes you kind of get this muted response. But I do think in this case, it's probably almost certainly more like the Jordan Walker and Weatherholt. Like, if Walker keeps this up, like he does this all year, and then next year he comes along, like, or some other kid comes along, like let's just say on the Cardinals, people would be like less enthused about Walker, I guess. Like, we already know about him.
Bias.
Anyway, I don't know. but yeah, for whatever reason, Ivan Herrera should not be, but is somehow underrated.
Yes. He's still 25 years old too. So that's also crazy. All right. Talking about another young catcher who's actually going to be a really good defensive catcher. Doc, your Huckleberry of the week.
Yeah. Ethan Salas, or Salas, or who cares? He probably doesn't know how to say my name. So I'm like the only guy. Someone else show me a dynasty or a prospect rankings since before this season started, but after last season ended, that has Ethan Salas in their top 200 even, and like that's kind of rare. He was looking horrible, right? And so it was getting harder and harder to defend going for him. But I just felt like with so many people graduating, and I looked around like who I'm ranking in my top at the back end of my top 100. And I'm like, well, because there's a lot of question marks here. Ethan Salas is still a question mark, but I found myself picking him. Thank God. Taking him on trades or like picking him late in startups this offseason, because I'm like, he's not going to go anywhere. He's been hurt too. He's still really young. And here's the number one reason, especially in a deep dynasty league, he's going to be a catcher. He's like so many of these guys, like Herrera, we just mentioned him, probably not a catcher. Agustin Ramirez, the experiment appears to be over, right? And so these guys are going to have to basically reinvent their dynasty value a little bit, right? They'll slide in. Like, if you can crank 20 plus home runs, there's always fantasy value for you. If you're Agustin and you focus fully on the batting and not having to learn like the hardest position for a hitter, maybe Agustin Ramirez can be a 25 guy. Maybe he's going to unlock some new level, right? Just focusing fully on hitting. But with Salas, like eventually, he's going to be up, and he'll always be a catcher until his knees give out or something. As long as he can stay healthy, he's just really good defensively. And you're seeing now a breakout offensively, which is what scouts were like freaking out about all along. They're like, no, he's going to be a good hitter. Doesn't have to even be a great hitter. If you just have that C eligibility, you like the back of the baseball card right now, the 325 average, 413 OBP, 5 home runs, 6 stolen bases for some reason. It's nice. And how old is he? 19 years old at Double-A. We just said that 22 was a little bit young for Double-A in terms of like an average. So Ethan Salas went from forgotten about to back on of course he's going to be a superstar track like overnight. So that's the thing about prospecting, folks. If anyone gets dogmatic with you and you have enough logic to go on, if you are frankly, even if you can almost just be like, I just like this guy. Like when you hear me say things like, oh, you never know, crazier things have happened. Like, and even people I don't like, right? I'm like, I don't really know if I'm glad, this guy's down, but he could come back. Like baseball is a game of redemption. The younger you are, the more opportunities you have to do that redemption. And Ethan Salas is writing a book on it right now.
Yeah, 170 age-adjusted WRC plus and a T10 player this last week. You can check my thoughts on him out if you listen to the prospect episode from earlier in the week with John. Yellow belly of the week. My yellow belly of the week is J.R. Ritchie, who I had always talked about being down on, and everyone is all about J.R. Ritchie. They think he's better than Diddy. No one better than Diddy. Come on. But anyway, J.R. Ritchie. J.R. Ritchie is at 1.3 K minus walk right now, a 573 Sierra against his 363 ERA. And the stuff plus metrics, which are, he's at 17 innings, so more or less what's stabilized so far, swing strike rate, 8.6, and stuff plus metrics, 88 stuff plus on the fastball. He has only a 100 on the curve. So that's his only average plus or average pitch by stuff plus. So I never really liked the arsenal. I kind of felt like he was a kitchen sink guy in the minors. I think his ceiling is a number 4, number 5 starter. I do think he's a major league pitcher, but I was talking to Ross a little bit on X about this, and I was like, I just don't like it. And he's like, if you think he's a major league player, then he should be in your top 100. And I'm like, not necessarily, not for fantasy. I'm ranking for fantasy just because I think a guy's a major league 4 or 5. Like, I'll take my shots on other guys instead of putting him in my top.
No, I actually agree with Ross on that one, and you are, because I agree, because I have an opinion on something and yours is different. You are objectively wrong, just so you know. Yeah, so that, but I know what he's saying. What he's saying is, because especially in deeper leagues, the odds of these prospects working out at all or being major leaguers is like actually kind of statistically low, right? Especially the further back you get, like into like the 90th to 100th slots there. I think that's what came into my mentality with Salas too. I'm like, well, he's probably going to be a major leaguer, whereas these other guys, Joseph Sullivan, like, will he make it? Will he not? I don't know. But if he does, it'll be great. It'll be very explosive. And so I see that's what you're going for. You want to get the sexy dart throws, but my advice would be, work in those surefire guys because, you want those guys on your list. And he's going to be, his peak could be, and let's not get ahead of ourselves, but his peak could be Miles Michaelis.
Doc, 30-teamer. Okay. Doc, your yellow belly of the week.
Yeah, Evan Carter. Love this guy. I got a shirt with his face on it. Let's hope it's worth more than it looks right now. Gosh, it's just easy to forget this, though. I'm looking at his page. Evan Carter is 23 years old still. We're talking about age, right? Yeah, but unfortunately, we're finally seeing what happens when Evan Carter is healthy. He's healthy now, but what we're seeing is he's actually like not doing that well, which is not great. But it's a weird profile, right? He's still taking a ton of walks. He's fast,
like Dylan Carlson, man.
I mean, I'm not sure if Dylan Carlson. I don't want to see any of his recent Savant pages, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's got 4 home runs. He's got 5 stolen bases. Like, he's doing things. Like, he's interesting. He's not flailing and looking like a boring player at all. But like, I'm not looking at his contact rates right now. Like what are those? Like, it just doesn't seem. It seems like his approach is just off kilter, and he's got sub Mendoza line batting average. This is when people who say batting average doesn't matter. It's all about just taking walks and getting on. No, like there's some point where you need to. Yeah, I actually don't even believe. How much is he swinging here?
76% contact, 86 or 8.
That's a good contact, but he's just not swinging the bat enough, huh?
Yeah, that's how he's always been, though. He's always been passive in that way.
But but I guess this is it, right? I'm in denial, but and I'm not damning his career. I'm not freaked out about him, but I am. That yellow belly is starting to creep in a little bit of that. Oh, well, what if this is just something where either it's going to be who he is forever and it's not going to work out, or gosh, maybe it's just gonna he's gonna dip in and out of the minors. It'll take a few more years, and then we see the 25, 26-year-old breakout. Completely possible. Again, redemption stories, right? Remember how everyone felt about Jordan Walker this offseason? You couldn't trade him for a bag of potato chips. Now, price has gone up. So Evan Carter still long term. It's just that's the tone. The tone you just heard in my voice. Long term could be good. It's just it's so much more fun when they're studs right off the bat. And the weird thing is with Evan Carter is he was a stud off the bat. He was the whole spark plug to them winning their first ever World Series. And it's as a 20-year-old. So the expectations were sky high. And there's probably a lot of GMs and owners out there who have rostered him over the last few years who have just been searching for that, trying to capture that lightning that he once flashed, and they haven't got it. So that's why his stock is so far down. So I'm getting a little bit of yellow belly, but it's more of I just don't know when it's going to happen.
Maybe he's hit a home run today and 2 strikeouts. Maybe it's good. Maybe he needs to strike out more, get more aggressive at the plate, and then he can actually use the power. But that's what he did today: a home run, 2 strikeouts. All right, Mexican standoff.
Man, my throat hurts. I'm not doing it anymore. That was the worst one I did because of my throat.
Yeah, definitely the worst. That's okay. You're coming off your best. The harmonica last week was amazing. So if you haven't checked that out,
my lungs just feel like I just went through I feel like I just inhaled a bunch of mustard gas. Like World War I veterans and me, two peas in the same pod potentially. To some people, I wouldn't say that, but some people might say that.
Agent Orangeburger. All right, Mexican standoff. We have Jose Altuve, Matt McClain, and Trevor Story. All 3 guys, bad years so far. Who are you going to actually buy back in Dynasty, Doc? Which of these guys in a Dynasty league do you expect to provide the most value in the next few years here?
It's funny. I think you started glitching. Like we heard what you said, but you kind of sounded like drunk because of it. Few years here, so it was funny. The story of Trevor Story is that I'm not buying him for sure. He's just a little bit older, and honestly, he's had health problems before. My gut goes to Altuve. I know he's really old. I'm trying to see how he's doing. How's his bat speed compared to? Yeah, I'm trying to see how his bat speed is compared to last year. So last year was bad. Yeah, he's never really been electric there, huh? Just because if you have really declining bat speed, that's just when it's over because they're just not moving as fast. Where it counts. But he's the numbers. His back of the baseball his batting average 241 and 327 OBP. I've seen worse. My gut has him or McClain. But Matt McClain hasn't been able to play a lot of baseball. He's the youngest, so it's the most logical to bet on him. Sprint speed's still really high for him too. It's almost it's a little bit Evan Carter-y, funny enough. Yeah, he's not chasing, and he's taking a lot of walks. Okay, I'm actually changing my mind. Yeah, I'm going to go to Matt McClain. I know Altuve is more proven, done it more, but the age of 36 to 26 just makes it. I mean, even last year and the year before that, he's giving you basically boring 15-15-ish kind of seasons. So if you can ever recapture – actually, it was not 2 years ago. That was 2023 I'm looking at here. This is I'm pretty tired part of the night. But, yeah, Matt McClain pretty easily now that I've gotten a hold of where everyone's at right now. If Altuve was doing a little bit better maybe, but, yeah, he's boring, barely getting by, and 36 – give me the young guy. We'll see if you can keep on his horse. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not even he's got 3 home runs and 5 stolen bases now. Again, that's not nothing. That's some kind of juice. The ratios are not good, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because basically he, according to X home runs, he should have an extra home run this year, and he did actually hit one today. But what he's doing right now, he's hitting more fly balls, and he's hitting the ball harder than he ever did before. Yet the problem is his BABIP is like 250. It's like a career low because he's flying out too much, because his home run to fly ball rate this year is 4.5% when his career average is 11.5. So this might be another one of those things where just it's cold in Cincy right now. And he was really hot in spring training in Arizona when the weather was hot. And once he starts playing and the weather gets warmer, the ball starts flying a little bit better. These fly balls that he's hitting 49% of the time might start turning into home runs, because a 4.5% home run to fly ball rate versus a career 11.5 shows that we should get some positive regression here in the future for Matt McLain. So we'll end on that. Doc, why don't you give us a Cowboy thing to end this podcast? We need a Cowboy
thing.
Yeah.
Off
cuff. Some Cowboy.
All right. You gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them, and when not to eat a hot honey and chicken sandwich and then puke up the friggin' acid into your lungs and ruin the rest of your night.
All right, make sure you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. Subscribe because of Tim and Doc, not John. I'll have to end it on that. All right, thanks for watching, listening, whatever. Peace out. See you next time.
Stay sharp, stay hungry, keep them barrels flying high. This is Doc's Dynasty Hour. We'll catch you on the other side.